Very good morning, dear students. Welcome back to the today's session. And this session, again, we are going to continue the discussion of chapter 3, that is organization of data. And in a previous class, we have already discussed or started discussion of what is frequency distribution. And in the frequency distribution topic, we have discuss some of the key points or key issues relating to the frequency distribution. Here, frequency distribution in the sense, it's nothing but, it's a comprehensive, frequency distribution is nothing but, it is a comprehensive way of classifying the raw data in a particular order. Already we have discussed that. What is frequency distribution means? Frequency distribution is nothing but, it is a comprehensive way of classifying the raw data in a particular order. Maybe it is in ascending or in a descending order. If in arranging in a particular order is nothing but frequency distribution. In the frequency distribution, there are some key issues or key points we need to understand before going to the frequency distribution of raw data. What are the key issues in the sense? First, we need to know what is class frequency. Class frequency. Here, very simple. Class frequency refers to the number of values in the particular class. The number of values appearing in that particular class. The number of values. The number of values in the particular class is nothing but class frequency. Here, suppose if you have arranged the class between 0 to 10 means in between this 0 to 10, between this class limits, what are the values used to appear? That values are nothing but class frequency. Between this class, what are the values used to appear? We make a node. That node is nothing but we will call class frequency. Example 0 to 10. Here from 0 to 10, how many values are appeared? We will see the raw data and how many values are appeared. That values are nothing but class frequency. And one more point we need to understand before the frequency distribution, that is class limits. That important one is class limits. Already we have discussed about this in the previous class also. Here class limits are nothing but the two ends of the particular class. Class limits are nothing but two ends of the particular class. Here, example we will take class of 30 to 40. Here, the two ends or the limits of this class are called as class limit. The upper limit and lower limit are the two ends of class will be considered as class limits. And here, after the class limit, again we have one more, that upper class limit. Here, very simple, upper class limit in the sense the highest value in the particular class is considered as the upper class limit, and in the same way the lower class limit in the sense the lowest value in the particular class is considered as a lower class limit. Here, upper class limit means the highest the same way, lower class limit. Lower class limit is nothing but the lowest value or the minimum value of the class is considered as lower class limit. Lowest value of the class is nothing but lower class limit. Understood, right? The highest value of that particular class is considered as upper class limit, and the lowest value of the particular class will be considered as a lower class limit. Example, the class limit is 30 to 40. Here, between this 30 to 40, the highest value is nothing but upper class limit. The lowest value of the class is nothing but lower class limit. Understood? And next, one more important topic is class interval, or it will also called as class size. Here, class interval refers to the difference. Class interval or class width is nothing but the difference between, class interval means the difference between the upper limit and the lower limit of the class is considered as a class interval. The difference or the size width of the class will be considered as a class interval. Here, class interval refers to the difference between upper class limit and lower class limit is nothing but class interval. And in order to find out the class interval, we have a formula, that is class interval width is equal to upper class limit minus lower class limit. This is what the formula in order to find the size of or the width of the class interval. Here, for example, we have taken 30 to 40. Here the upper limit of the class is 40 and lower limit of the class is 30. And the difference between these two will be 10. This is what the class interval. The class interval means here the difference between upper class limit and lower class limit. Understood? And one more important topic we need to discuss relating to the frequency distribution, that is nothing but class midpoint. Very important. You need to know about this. Class midpoint is nothing but the exact central value of the particular class, and always the class midpoint will lies between the upper class limit and lower class limit of the class. Your class midpoint is nothing but the exact central value of the particular class, and also we can say that always the class interval will be lies between the upper class limit and lower class limit. Class midpoint, or we also call this as a class width or class marks. Class mark. The class given for 1 mark also. What is the class midpoint or class marks? Here, the class midpoint is nothing but the exact central upper class limit and lower class limit. And in order to find out the class midpoint, we have a formula, that is class midpoint equals to upper class limit plus lower class limit divided by 2. Upper class limit plus lower class limit divided by 2. Here, if we take the class of 32 party, here the upper class limit is 40 and the lower class limit is 30 and divided by 2. Divided by 2. Here 40 plus 30 is nothing but 70 and divided by 2 we will get 35. It means the exact central value of the class 30 to 40 is 35. That's why we will say the exact central value of these two limits of the class is nothing but class midpoint or class 1. This is important for the further distribution of the frequencies. Got it? And this is what key issues. First, before the frequency distribution, we should be clear for all this. What is class frequency? The value of the classes is considered as a class frequency, and class limits means the two ends of the particular class. Upper class limit refers to the highest value of the class, and lower class limit refers to the lowest value of the particular class. And class interval means the difference between upper class limit and lower class limit. And here the class midpoint or class mark refers to the exact central value of the class. And to find out this, we have a formula also: upper class limit plus lower class limit divided by 2. By using this formula, we can be able to find the class midpoint. Understood? Now we'll discuss how to draw a frequency distribution table with the help of raw data. That now we'll discuss. Here, before going to the frequency distribution table, what are the columns we need to maintain? That will look now. Here, firstly, we need to have a classes. First, we need to have a classes, and then frequency, and after the frequency we need to have one more column to do a frequency distribution. That column is nothing but lower class limit, and next column is upper class limit, and the next one class midpoint or mark. Midpoint, also called as class mark. This is what frequency distribution table. Then, with the help of this data, how can we construct the frequency distribution table will be seen now. Here, observe this raw data. Already I have given one example. The marks of 50 students in the economics subject. Same the data I am taking for example here. Here we have a marks of 50 students in a particular examination, that is economics examination. And then this raw data we need to organize in a proper order. That order is nothing but frequency distribution. Here, before going to that, we need to have a classes. Here we have marks from 0 to 100. For the clear-cut explanation of this marks, we need to have 10 classes, that is from 0 to 10, from 10 to 20, and from 20 to 30 and 30 to 40 and 40 to 50, 50 to 60 and 60 to 70, 70 to 80 and 80 to 90 and 90 to 100. We have 10 number of classes here, and the class interval or class width or gap is 10. We are taking the class interval is 10. It means the gap between upper limit and lower limit is 10 we have taken right now. Then between this 0 to 10, here class limits means the upper limit and two ends of the class is called as class limits. Here in the first class, here we have a lower limit is 0 and upper limit is 10. Between this 0 and it means above 0 and below the 10, how many students have scored the marks? That value will be considered as a frequency. Here the frequency means the value of the particular class, the number of values in the particular class. Here the value is from between 0 to 10. Between 0 to 10, how many students have scored the marks? The number of values or the number of students will be considered as a frequency. Understood, right? Now come to know the frequency of this particular class. Here, by observing this raw data, we can clarify that no student have got the marks below 10 and above 0. The no student have got a marks below 10 and above 0. Here, one thing you should clarify. Here, class limit is 0 to 10 means more than 0, 10, less than 10. Here we have a 10, but we should not include in the particular frequency because the class limit is below 10. Then, by observing all this raw data frequency, raw data value, there is no value between the 0 to 10. Then frequency of that particular class is 0. Frequency of that particular class is 0. And next, what is the lower class limit of this particular class? The lower class limit of the particular class is 0. Which is the lowest value in the particular class? 0. Then the lower class limit is 0. Then come to upper class limit. Upper class limit means the highest value of the particular class. Here in this particular class, upper class limit or the highest value is 10. Then it will be considered as a upper class limit. Then one more we need to find out, that is class midpoint. Your class midpoint refers to the exact central value of the class. Exact central value of the class. Here between 0 and 10, what is the exact central value? 5. We can put directly 5, or we can also apply to a formula. The formula is class midpoint equals to upper class limit plus lower class limit divided by 2. In that particular class, the upper class limit is 10 and the lower class limit is 0. 10 plus 0 divided by 2. 10 plus 0 we will get 10 and divided by 2. The answer will be 5. Then the class midpoint of this particular class is 5. And next come to one more class, that is class between 10 to 20. Your class between 10 to 20 means we need to find out frequencies more than 10 and less than 20. More than 10 and less than 20. Here 10 will comes for that particular class. Here the value is 1. 20. I got one value. And here we have one more value, then 17, then 14. These are the values comes more than 10 and below 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. The number of frequencies, the values appear between 10 to 20 is 4. Then the frequency is nothing but 4. The class frequency of this particular class is 4 and the lower class limit of this particular class is 10. Which is the lowest value of this class? 10. Then it will be considered as lower class limit. And comes to upper class limit of this particular class. The upper class limit of this class is 20. And class midpoint 20 plus 30. Sorry, 20 plus 10. 30. 30 divided by 2 is nothing but 15. If you want, even you can apply to the formula. The upper limit of that particular class is 20 and lower class limit is 10 divided by 2 means 30 by 2 and you get the answer that is nothing but 15. So you got it now? Then the class midpoint or the class mark is 15. And next one to one more, 20 to 30. Here 20 to 30 means the values more than 20 and below 30 will be considered as a class frequency. Then now observe this particular data to know the frequency of class relating to 20 to 30. Here 20, 25, then after observing all these values, the values between 20 to 30 is only two. One is 20 and one more 25. These values will become more than 20 and below 30. Then the frequency of this particular class is 2. How many values are appear between 20 and 30? 2. Then the frequency is nothing but 2. And a lower class limit of this particular class is nothing but 20. The lowest value of this class is 20 and the upper class limit means the highest value of this class is 30 and it will be considered as upper class limit and class midpoint of this particular class is 25 because here only you can add 30 plus 20, 50. 50 divided by 2 we will get 25 and one more class that is nothing but 30 to 40. Here the values we should consider more than 30 and below 40. 30 and more than 30 and below 40 the values will be considered as a frequency of this particular class. Now comes to here more than 30, more than 30. Here one value we got it. Yes, right? 37 more than 30 and below 40. And one more value. Here 34. Here we got three values between 30 to 40. One is 30, one more value is 37 and one more value 34. By observing all these raw data values, we got the values between 30 to 40. There are 3, 30, 37 and 34. Then the frequency of the class is 3. Frequency of the class is 3 and your lower class limit of this class is 30 and upper class limit means highest value of this class is 40 and the exact middle value or class midpoint are marked to be called as class midpoint. And your 40 plus 30, 70. 70 divided by 2, we will get 35. And one more class is nothing but 40 to 50. Here the value more including 40 and more than 40 and below 50 will be considered as the frequency of this particular class. Now, above 40 means one value, 47, 45, 49, again 49, one more, 41, your 49. Yes. Now we have identified the values between 40 to 50. We got 6 values between 40 to 50. One is 47, 45, 49 and again 49 and 49. Then one more value. Yeah. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 values will comes between the 40 to 50. Then the frequency of that particular class is 6 and the lower class limit of this particular class is 40 and the upper class limit of this particular class is 50 and the exact central value or midpoint of this class is 45. How in a sense? 50 plus 40. 50 plus 40 we will get 90 and when we divided by 2 the answer will be 45. Got it? Then next class is 50 to 60. Here between 50 to 60 the values used to appear 1, 2, make a double tick to easy identification. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16 values we got between 50 to 60 range. Got it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. The 16 values are appeared between 50 to 60 range. Then the frequency of this particular class is 16. Then the lower class limit of 50 to 60 is 15. And the upper class limit, the highest value of this class is 60. And class midpoint of this particular class is 55. It means 60 plus 50 we get 110 divided by 2. We will have an answer with 55. Then one more class 60 to 70. Here 60 70, the frequencies will be appear 1, make a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 numbers we have here from between 60 to 70. Then the frequency is 10, and the lower class limit of this class is nothing but 60, and upper class limit of this class is 70. It means highest value. Then class midpoint or class mark is 65. How in the sense? 70 is the upper limit, 60 is the lower limit. 70 plus 60, we will get 130, and divided by 2, we will answer with 65. And one more class, that is nothing but 70 to 80. And what will be the frequencies? Now we will identify with the raw data. Here, between 70 to 80, 1, 2 values, we have 2 values between 70 to 80. Then the frequency will be 2, and the lower class limit of this particular class is 70, and upper class limit means highest value of this class is 80, and class midpoint is 75, because 80 plus 70 we will be having 150, and divided by 2 will be 75. Then come to our one more class, that is range between 80 to 90. Now we will identify the frequencies. 80 to 90. We got one frequency, right? Make it a V shape. 1, 2, 3, 'and we got 3 values between 80 to 90. Then frequency of this particular class will be 3. Then lower limit of this particular class is 80. The lower limit of this particular class is 80. And upper class limit of this particular class is 90. Then class mark or class midpoint will be 85. 90 plus 80 we will get 170, and 170 divided by 2, 85. Next, one more last class of this frequency distribution is the range between 90 to 100. Here we will get the frequencies like 100. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and 4. Here we will be having the 4 values between 9 to 100. Then the frequency of that particular class is 4. Then the lowest value of the class is 90, and highest value of the class is 100, and the center distribution of a table with the help of raw data. This is how we can classify or can organize or we can arrange the raw data in a proper order. This is what nothing but frequency distribution. Frequency distribution means arranging the raw data or classifying the raw data in a order. Is nothing but class frequency distribution. Yeah. One more important topic after the frequency distribution is frequency curve. Here the frequency curve is nothing but it's a graphical presentation of frequency distribution. Got it? Here frequency curve is nothing but it's a graphical way of presentation relating to a frequency distribution. And in order to present the data in a graphical presentation, we have taken the two axes here. One is x-axis and one more y-axis. Here y-axis representing the frequencies and x-axis representing the class midpoint or class mark. Because here range is between 0 to 10. To represent this particular class, we have taken class mark or class representation as a 5, and to present the class between 0 to 20, we have taken class representative or mark is 15, that we have representing in the x-axis, and frequencies we are going to measuring in the y-axis. And here frequency curve we will get by adding the plotted points in the chart. And before getting the frequency curve, now we need to identify the plotted points in the chart with the help of this frequency distribution table. Now come to the class point or class midpoint or mark 5. In the value 5, what is the class frequency? The frequency is 0. Here 5, where is the 5 in the class mark? Here the 5, and the value of frequencies are 0. Then keep a point here, and we will get the plotted point here. And one more thing, when we have a class mark 15, then the frequency is 4. Then class mark or it is a midpoint. And here in a 15, the frequency is 4. Inside we should move upward, and forward means we should go in a rightward where 2 intersects, where we will get the point. And in the 25, the mark 25, the class frequency is 2. Here this 2 will be intersect in this particular point. And in mark 35, then the frequency will be 3. 35, the frequency will be 3. 3 means it will be lights between 4 and 2. You will take a central value of this 4 and 2 will be appears the 3. And take a central value of this and here. We will be having scale. We can use here to measure the point. And next in a 45. In the place of 45, we will be having the frequency is 6. 45, we will be having 6. Means we will get the plotted point here. And in case of 55, the mark 55, the frequency will be 16. Yeah, with the help of scale, we can able to get the plotted point. And next, in the 65, the frequency will be 10. The frequency will be 10. Then frequency will be 10. And in 75, the frequency will be 2. 2. And in 95, the frequency value is 4. Yeah, this is how we will get the floating points in the chart. And by joining all these floating points in the chart, we will get a frequency curve. And frequency curve is, it's a graphical presentation of frequency distribution. Yeah, from 0 we start, right? When the class mark 5, the frequency are 0, and start from here. 15, 25, 35, 45, and next 55, come to 65, and here this is what? Frequency curve. Understood? Frequency distribution means classifying the rod data in a particular order, and frequency curve means the graphical presentation of frequency distribution. I hope all of you understood this topics, and next class we'll move to most important concept of this chapter, that is how to do a frequency distribution. It means before going to the frequency distribution, what are the steps we need to follow, the main steps we need to follow before the frequency distribution. That will be discussed in the next class. Thank you everyone.